Hello, and welcome to Blueprint for Belonging, a podcast where we explore what inclusive employment really looks like in practice.
We're Sam and Sarah, job coaches, recording this episode from Leduc, Alberta, Canada at LINX Connect Centre. Each episode will break down the ideas, challenges, myths, and meaningful moments that shape workplace conclusion.
Because diversity, equity, accessibility, and inclusion aren't just workplace buzzwords, they are the qualities of belonging.
And no one belongs here more than you.
Leduc LINX Connect Centre's mission is to provide person-centered supports for individuals with developmental disabilities to pursue their goals, their independence, and their place in the community.
For more information, check out our website at linx.ngo. That's linx.ngo.
And support what we're doing here and subscribe. It means a lot. Thank you.
So yeah, I guess before we fully jump into this, we really want to be clear that this is a resource from our perspective and our experiences, and that, what we share here is not the end-all be-all. So do your own research, talk to the people in your life, and because they're the experts of their own lived experiences.
Absolutely.
Today we're talking about beyond hiring, what inclusive employment actually means. What does inclusive employment mean? So I guess we can maybe start at the beginning, right at the doorway of, I guess, job postings. I guess job postings, when we're looking at inclusive employment. So
Yeah, I mean, that is a great place to start. It's an employer's first step at communicating that they need a worker. They need someone to come in and fill a role. Um, and, you know, I don't know about anyone else, but when you've been through this process, it can be really overwhelming. There's a lot of different kinds of job postings out there. They all don't seem to follow the same format. And that can be really intimidating for someone. There's different job boards that job posts can be posted on. There's also opportunities there for employers to reach out to agencies like ours when they have a role and see if we have someone who is a great fit.
Yeah, for sure. And I think that with job postings, that is where you really get to set the tone at the beginning, right? That's where you're showing how potentially open or compassionate or like how inviting you are in that job posting, by how you write things. What is in there? Are all the things that are on the job posting, like, are they necessary? Do they include or exclude, I guess?
Yeah. Are you using plain, simple language that means that everyone can understand what you're looking for? Are you prioritizing certain qualities for the role and keeping those at the top of the list? Are you using point form? Is it easy to understand the location of where this job is? Is it easier to understand if this is a full-time position or a part-time position? All of those things are important for someone when they're scanning through a list of jobs and trying to understand if they are going to be the right fit.
Yeah. Because I think too, with that, when you're looking through a job posting and you're noticing maybe that, maybe I have a bunch of these skills or requirements, but I don't have a few of them. And maybe those things are actually things that could be done in a different way, that they don't need to specifically be done how they're stated in the job posting. So maybe taking a look at how that is worded, so to show that you're open to that it's not how you do it, it's that you can get to the outcome of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, I was looking at a job post recently, for a position. I was thinking, maybe this could be a role that a client would be interested in. And one of the requirements was a full year of experience in a role that otherwise I thought really seemed to be an entry level role. It spoke about training on the job at the very end of the job listing, but that 1 year of experience will really exclude a lot of people for a position that I think is something that they're missing out on everyone who has life experience and other skills and other qualities that they could bring to the table for that role.
Yeah, yeah, that's a great example. Um, yeah, and I guess if we move on to, I guess, like the application process,
Absolutely.
what is that like? What is available? Is it only online? Because I do know that there like that seems to be where things are headed. But
Mhm.
could you also accept a resume in person? Could be the person, right?
Yeah,
So
having that flexibility within your casting the net for job seekers and looking for those candidates is helpful, as well with applications. With those online forms, it may be helpful to let someone know how long that's going to take, or have a progress bar. It can be really intimidating if you think that that's going to go on for 10 minutes, 20 minutes. You might be 40 minutes into the process, and wondering when it's going to end. Some of these job applications out there are really quite thorough at the moment, um, and that can really become a barrier for some people.
mhm,
Yeah.
yeah, interviews then.
Interviews.
Um, I mean, interviews has like there's so many things that we can do to make that more accessible, more inclusive, that are things that I think actually a lot of people would prefer or enjoy that could just be regular practices, such as like one that I personally really love is um, having the questions being given to you ahead of time because I mean, like when we're interviewing someone, do we not want to see their best qualities and the things that they really want to bring forward and what they could possibly provide to your team? As I don't think that an interview should feel like are they here to stump me or trick me
Mhm.
or like like that doesn't feel great to be felt like you're put on the spot where that could be so powerful to just be given the questions ahead of time.
Absolutely. And if you do have the ability to offer this, there's different settings that an interview could take place in that could be more comfortable for someone. I've seen suggestions for walking interviews, which seems like a lovely idea. And I've actually had someone offer that to me before, and we went on a walking interview. This was years ago, and it was a great conversation.
Yeah.
And so that's an opportunity there. Also asking straightforward questions, less on the hypothetical questions. Like if a customer comes in irate and they're asking you, or making this demand on you, what are you going to do? Um, those can be really challenging for certain individuals to imagine that scenario on the spot, and you're really setting them up to not show their best self in that moment. And if that occurred to them on the job, they might actually handle that really well. But in that scenario, they're not going to be showing their best self. And another thing with interviews that we sort of are built to expect is that there's all of these nonverbals that an interviewer is looking for in a candidate, um, to try to pick up cues about how they're going to be. But certain individuals, nonverbal reactions aren't something that they process. So that straightforward question and allowing them to just be in that moment, it just opens up so many more opportunities for you to really see that person.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that. Yeah, and I think then the like really just like you can do this very easily is have options of like, do we want the dim light, the bright light? Do we want to be in an area that has more noise, less noise? Like those things can often be really easily accommodated. So
Yeah, and just the act of having that question, those back and forths, that really breaks the ice. That really builds understanding,
yeah,
and you can really find a flow in
absolutely.
those moments.
Yeah, because that again, yeah, that helps set the tone. Yeah, awesome. Um, yeah. So I guess like that being a bit of the hiring experience. But when we are talking about like inclusive employment, that's a lot of what comes after.
Mhm.
And that's the thing that's going to keep it's ongoing, right? So it's not going through all those steps, but how are you being an inclusive employer or an inclusive team, I guess? Yeah.
Yeah, has a lot to do with that workplace culture. Really sets the tone, right?
Mhm.
Um, and ways that you can bring that culture to life is through training opportunities with your staff, having resources available to them. It really is an opportunity for a manager to step up in their managerial skills. And managers out there, I mean, you're already doing such impressive work carrying a team. Um, this is definitely something that I see so much potential in a lot of managers. We also have seen firsthand so many great managers that already are doing this um, in just you know uh, providing those learning moments for their staff, people who may not have had the opportunity yet to have those conversations or to just um, yeah, really understand those core values within the company. That they're a champion of diversity, equity, inclusion, accessibility. Um, yeah,
Yeah. Creating a sense of belonging in the workplace. Yeah.
exactly.
Feeling welcomed, like saying hi, using people's names, using their correct pronouns.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, giving people space to try to do things that I think like a huge one is just, do you need things to be done the way that in the process that you want them done, or if they can be complete, is that okay?
Yeah,
Because that's huge.
yeah. And just even having a place for you to leave your coat, having a place for you to leave your things. Um, it's just, those are such small symbols of welcoming, belonging, consideration. And yeah, absolutely, you know, maybe also from the jump, I mean, this just jumping back to the hiring process leading into that onboarding process, every step of the way is an opportunity to invite someone or provide them different ways of safely disclosing their needs and maybe their disability, whether it's confidential or in another way that they choose, and having those moments every step of the way, should they want to,
Yeah.
and should they feel safe and comfortable doing so. Those are always great things to consider.
And if you're already providing like, you're communicating well and providing options throughout the process, then you're setting the stage for like, this is welcome here. So
Absolutely. Whether it is visible or whether it's an invisible disability, which can be another burden that someone carries, not knowing when to really open up or let someone know something else about them if they really want to. Um, yeah.
Stats Canada shared that 68% of persons with disabilities experienced a barrier to accessibility during the hiring process. So we have a lot of room to grow. And yeah, and I think that it's okay to also like learn and grow and change. And, you know, you're like, hey, maybe I didn't do it the way that I would have liked to, but there are more opportunities to change and to do it the way that you want to the next time.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Um, yeah, I guess something I did want to bring up is talking about equality and equity and the difference between those. Um, so, equality being something like all of your staff, you're giving everyone a size 8 shoe. Make it work. That would be, you know, for this example, like equality. But equity is providing appropriate support or the appropriate things needed. So, for example, there's actually this picture that you can probably find pretty easily, but I'll tell it as a story today.
Oh, fantastic. I think I'm pretty sure I know the one you're talking about.
Cool. So Leo, Maya, and Sal stood outside of uh, a baseball game, and there was a fence in the way. For equality, oh, I should say first, Leo, very tall. Leo can see over the fence very easily. Maya is average height, can just barely maybe see over the fence, is kind of like at that fence height. Um, and then Sal is shorter and cannot see past the wooden boards or the wooden fence. So, if we were going to look at equality, that would be like, okay, we're going to give everyone one box to stand on. It's all the same size box. So then we have Leo who stands on the box, who's already tall, now way, way taller, can easily see past, could already see past the fence. Um, Maya now stands on the box and can see the game clearer, and it works quite well. But then Sal stands on the box, and this actually, they still can't see the game. They are now at, like, barely the fence height. So that would be like equality. Everyone has the same box. Then we move over to equity. Um, if we change it up, the next day everyone comes back to see the baseball game, and everyone is given what they need to succeed or to be able to see the game. So Leo can already see the game, and Leo uh, doesn't need a box. So Leo's good. Maya is given one box. This worked well yesterday, and now she can see the game, and it's quite comfortable. It works. And then Sal is given two boxes, and now Sal can see over the fence and see the game as well. And so everyone is able to view the game, and it's actually also, in this example, the same amount of resources that was used the day prior, but now everyone can enjoy.
Hmm.
Yeah. So,
Yeah, that actually makes me think of, because a lot of people are like, "Oh, equity. I've never thought of that concept. I've never heard of that before." And it makes me think of how often, you're showing someone something and they go, "Actually, I'm a hands-on learner. Can I get my hands in there and try this?" And someone else might come along and say, I just read the manual and I know what to do. Or someone's like, actually, while they're trying it hands on, I'm just going to watch and I'll get it. And everyone has a different path and it takes a different amount of time for them to learn something or to do something. And all, if they get to choose their given, means, they're given that opportunity to succeed and get there. And a lot of people will mention those things about themselves, and I think that is just like the best example as well of everyday equity in
yeah,
in action.
that's great. Um, yeah. So I guess like maybe we can run off a couple things that we've noticed as inclusive employers, the employers that we work with, things that they have in common. Um, Often very empathy driven leadership, leading with compassion, and working to empower their staff. I think that's a big one.
I feel that, yeah. If we go and visit a client, and they've had an interaction like that, um, I mean, those moments really sit. I was having a hard time with this, and when I spoke with my manager, they understood what I was saying. They let me know that they're going to come up with a solution, and they just ultimately really feel heard. And yeah, it's powerful, very
Yeah.
powerful.
Yeah. I guess other things there could be like intentionality, flexibility, curiosity, uh, and certainly open communication practices. And I think that's something that, like, in most areas of life, actually, like communication could be something to be focused on to improve.
Yeah, the great managers we see out there, there's a lot too. Um, they will hear something, something will be brought to their attention for the first time, and they're hearing it with fresh ears. They're not assuming that someone's bringing a problem to them that the last person brought, and it bugged them or bothered them. They're listening, taking in all the details, and handling it in the moment. It's that curiosity and it's that flexibility that you can just see that strong leadership that
Yeah,
they have.
yeah, definitely. Yeah. Yeah, I guess willingness to learn, um, and being okay with, being wrong or changing things up. Um, and yeah, just really engaging with their employees
Totally.
is the bottom line. Yeah. Yeah, and I guess some of the biggest barriers employers have faced or that we have heard is stuff like fear of saying or doing the wrong thing.
Big time.
Um, uh, but hey, like I think that actually, like, if you're being just like sort of authentic person and you're just like bringing forward like, hey, I want to be here for this thing, or like I want to understand. If you're showing up with that, you're golden. I think, like, for the most part, like, you can go a long way with that.
Very true.
Yeah,
Go back to that intentionality.
yeah. And then I guess also believing inclusion requires huge restructuring, which is, like, really not the case. Yeah, inclusion is a lot of the things that we do day to day, um, and we don't know where to start. Is
No,
something.
yeah. And where to start? Hire inclusively. Hire someone, a person with disability,
Mhm.
and start from there. It's a
Yeah.
great place to start.
Mhm.
And then there's so many other small ways that you can make an impact, one step at a time.
Yeah.
Right? Looking at your job postings, that's another small step,
Yeah.
small place to start. Thinking about a possible new workplace policy, or think about a new phrase or core value that you want to share with the whole team. Those are just small but super meaningful
Yes.
steps.
Yeah. Proactively making space to hear different voices. Um, yeah. Um, and I think just before we are closing out here, I'd like to share a quick little story of just of a client that we work with, where I think that a small accommodation made a huge change. So we have this client that they have a process where they have their pre-shift stuff that they like to do. I do too. And they were finding that that process was actually getting cut short because of the time of their shift. They like the time of their shift. They don't really want to be working a late shift, but they just needed like an extra 15 minutes. So ultimately, what ended up happening was that on a couple days in the week, they actually now have a flexible start time and they make up that extra 15 minutes at the end of their shift. And this has made the world of difference for this person. They they have they just enjoy their work. They're so proud. They have been able to, like, just, I don't know, like, I don't even have the words for it sometimes, but because they've just done such a great job. And this small little accommodation just did so much for them. And I just think, like, how many other things could be that little thing that could make someone shine and, like, give them the opportunity to shine. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So yeah, I guess in summary, inclusive employment matches diverse talents with equitable opportunities. Um, it turns potential into business advantage. It goes beyond hiring, and it cultivates a culture where every individual is empowered to contribute and thrive. Yeah.
Awesome. Um, I have some resources I'd like to share. So if this is something that you're really interested in, you're hearing what we're saying and you want to look into it a little more, there is a website that I'm very into right now. It's called the inclusiveworkspace.ca. This was created in 2021 by Inclusion Canada and the Autism Alliance of Canada. And this is a resource for employers, for job seekers, and agencies like ours. It has interactive e-learning tools. There's things about how to make that simpler job posting. There's things about, what is equity, what is equality. It just goes over so much. I love the interactive aspect of it. So it's definitely worth checking out the inclusiveworkplace.ca. Um, I also wanted to mention, October,
Hmm.
best month,
Yeah.
my favorite month. And there's another reason why it is the best month. October is Disability Employment Awareness Month. And there are, lots of different events going on. Since we're located in this area, I can give you some for the Edmonton region. We have the DEAM, as it's called, is DEAM Connect 2026, which is hosted by Goodwill Industries of Alberta. That's happening on October 1st in Edmonton. It's a networking event connecting employers, service providers, and job seekers. And then a little later on, we have the DEAM Idea Conference, and that's hosted by the Alberta Employment First Network. And so the event dates are October 6th to the 8th, and that's located, I think that's happening in Edmonton at NATE. So this is also an employer-focused conference on inclusive hiring and retention. Um, Also, shout out LINX, have to do it. LINX Connect Centre is also hosting a luncheon through the Leduc Nisku Wetaskiwin Chamber of Commerce, and that's going to be on October 7th. So stay tuned for more details on that. It's a big month. It's a great month coming up. And if you're listening to this and it's November, I am so sorry, but you can look forward to October again the following year and every year after that. Best month.
Yes, totally. And if you liked what you heard here today, and you want to help us reach more listeners, you can sponsor an episode. If you would like more information on that or to connect with us, you can always go to our website at linx.ngo, linx.ngo. And in return, we will highlight your business throughout the episode. And also, major shout out to our show producer, Daniel Madden. Yes, at Optical Opium Productions. Yes. So thanks for listening. Yeah, and we look forward to seeing you next time.
Job coaches are with the clients, the individuals, every day at their jobs, and they can see what their skills are, and we can bank on that, take that to the employers that they already have, and work on carving out a job that builds on those strengths.